Hi everyone, in today's video we're going to look at how you can work around training in high wind conditions. Now it's something that in the UK we're going to face mostly during the winter time, however we can also hit training during high wind periods during the summertime as well with the temperature differential. So one of the things we want to make sure we are doing is working to effort rather than to pace. If you're running into high winds, you're going to be losing a lot of time, a lot of pace in the headwind, and the tailwind, although beneficial, isn't going to benefit you as much. Particularly want to make sure that we're not overdoing it with the paces, so we're not really going to risk injury too much. It can be a problem for some people. It's not uncommon to see aches around the hips and groin, basically from over exertion to maintain upright posture because of the headwind. Naturally, when we run to headwind, we do want to kind of hinge at the hips a bit, and a little bit of that is kind of okay. We don't want to be too kind of tall because we present a big surface area for the wind to catch us. So a little bit of a gentle lean, same as you would into a hill, is absolutely okay. But it does mean there's going to be more lower back work and upper glute work in particular as well, and potentially more stabilization laterally. So we'll make sure we work to effort rather than pace, so we're not overloading those tissues and risking that injury. The other part of it as well, I want to factor in your elevation. So if you're running on particularly hilly routes and you've got a hilly route plan for your run and it's really, really windy and you want to work to pace as much as you possibly can, then work on a faster route. Although the elevation can be sometimes quite important if you're looking at a hilly marathon or hilly race that you're coming up for, then absolutely you want to work with some elevation, but maybe this isn't the right session to do it when it's windy. The other things to think about are the way you can use different route types. So for instance, you might run with some leaps. You're going to face a little bit of headwind, a little bit of tailwind, a bit of crosswind. That way it's not going to impact you too negatively. That said, if you are someone who does struggle with running into the headwind mentally or physically, then doing some deliberate work into the headwind at pace can be useful. So you might want to run out your 5K, 10K, half marathon, marathon effort or pace into a headwind for 400 meters, maybe 800 meters, and see how you get on with it. If you're training into this, you're going to get used to it to some degree, as long as you're managing this with the rest of your training intensity, then actually can be really, really beneficial. The other thing we can do is deliberately do some out and backs. So you might run a longer distance run of say 5-10 miles. You might go out for half of that distance and then come straight back. If you do find that really long stints like that are problematic or not possible, then you might do it a couple of times out and back. There's nothing wrong with that. It seems weird because we tend to go big loops or doing lollipop sessions, which are another really good option. So lollipop route, which is just a name that I tend to use and other coaches use as well. Essentially, we run to a point, we do some loops, and we come back. Really straightforward. That ability, again, you're getting some headwind, some tailwind, or vice versa, and we're getting those little loops where you're maybe not as exposed for long periods of time. Sheltered routes can also be really useful, so deliberately running where there are lots of trees, where it's safe to do so, or where it's quite built up and you're not going to get like a big tunneling effect of wind, can also be really handy. So there are loads of ways to work around it. Key thing is, as ever, manage your effort levels, manage your paces so you're not overloading the body. It's going to be difficult, so we're probably going to slow down a bit. That's fine. The key thing is our body and our heart rate and our muscles are producing force. They're working at high heart rates. That's all we need. So don't worry about if your paces do drop off a little bit. You can do things to manage it, as I've mentioned, the elevation, for instance, but don't worry if you do slow down a little bit. Pretty normal. And if you can consistently train during this period, not overdoing it and not just giving up because it's tough, then when you do see a better conditions for weather, actually going to run really, really well. So keep that consistency in training. Good quality, consistent training is always a winner. Have a go with those and see how you find it.